In a world where news flies around every minute, you need the ability to relate and connect with what matters and stay up to date. Schengen Story Media News Echoes program is Africans in Diaspora and at Home's leading English news network, one of the most trusted, respected sources for news updates on current affairs as they affect global Africa. Looking for the right answers to hard and sometimes confusing global events? Look no further. SSM's team brings unique perspectives from across the globe. Our in-depth independent reporting is to make you better understand the world as we evolve.
Good day to you all, wherever you may be. My name is Mark Godwin Iweajua, and we're here on our Friday SSM Global Updates. Joining me from Lagos, Nigeria is Ogbeni Olayinka Raji. Ogbeni Olayinka, good morning, sir.
Good morning, Mark. Good morning, viewers around the world. Welcome to our Friday program, end of the week.
Yes. So the weather is still hot, and sometimes you have this flash flood comes suddenly, pop, 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 and the weather comes back again being hot. How is it in Lagos this morning?
Lagos is cool, yes.
Okay.
And we have been advised to have a partner with us because it's very, very cool.
That's the best part. I wish I was. All right, Yinka. Interesting. Yes, you're welcome. Hopefully our other colleagues will join. But before then, let's talk about INEC introducing online portal for the political registration. Online portal, that's you can just come together as a political group and go and register yourself. And they said they have so far 129 political group that have been registered. Raji, how will this look? 129 group of political group, and we've not been able to contain 2, 3, 4. How can we contain 129 political groups?
I think we should come out and start being serious because everything now is becoming like a joke. How can you have more than 100 political parties seeking office? How? In a saner environment, if you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 parties, you know that those parties are serious. And not just somebody in his family bringing up a party. And therefore, also, the conditions for registration of parties should be more stringent.
Okay.
More stringent rather than just having offices in so many. No, it should be more stringent. You should have a list of people who are ready to come together to form a party. You have your party officials. You have your offices in the federal capitals and almost every local government or every state. In fact, we should limit the number of parties that are going to be, because when you look at the voting, the sheet for which you have to go and vote, if you have 129 parties contesting for it, it becomes ridiculous. You don't even know. For most of our people, you will not even be able to identify your party on the sheet because you have the whole book before you to choose.
Have a whole book.
No, it's not right. We have to be serious. We should limit the number of political parties that will going to contest for elections. And after every election, if your party does not win at least one seat, that party should be scrapped.
Raji, your words are not far from the real thing. I mean, you're being very factual. You're being real. So the parties are too much. And Raji, take note that we've not really the ones we had before. We had about 16 of them before. Things didn't all go well in that 2023 election. Now we're heading to 2027, and we now have 129 political parties. I really think it's a joke, like you said. Viewers, if you see the screen there, these are some of the ones the studio was able to gather. It's more than this number. It's 129. So, but we can see all kind of crazy logos, all kind of party names, National Rescue Movement, New Nigeria Political Party. We know the Labour Party. And there's one called Boot Party. Can you imagine Boot? B-O-O-T. Strange. Then there is the there is the PDP, which we all know, People's Democratic Party. There is another PRP, People's Redemption Party. There is the Social Democratic Party. That's Abiola's party back then. Too many of them. Too many. Yes, go ahead, Raji.
There are too many parties, and in a serious country, normally you will not have more than 5 parties, serious parties.
Yes.
Even if they are sectional, you know that these parties are a group of people who are serious about governance. Then also financing of these parties. For as long as the federal government has a hand in financing these parties, I think it will just be a matter of everybody trying to get part of the national cake by floating a party.
There's one of the party that has a cockerel as its logo. That one is ABGA, the ABGA party from the southeast of Nigeria. And there's one that has tiger as its logo, and they have one that has umbrella. You have one with orange. Then there's this interesting one. I was looking at that last time. It has the eyes of just 2 eyes popping out. NCP.
That's the National Conscience Party.
So it's just 2 eyes popping out. And
that's the National Conscience. It's a party that was floated by Chief Gani Fawehinmi.
So all you have is just 2 eyes popping out. Okay.
Yeah, they are watching the conscience of the party.
They are watching the conscience. Well, and now INEC is taking their whole registration to online. Raji, we know what happened when we did Beavers and all the electronic voting. It didn't work. Nothing was sustainable with that.
But you registered for your voter's card online. So that one worked.
So now, will this one work too? If they have to register their party online and be accredited and all those. But before we continue the discussion, let's bring in George Chukwu from Toronto, Canada. George takes his time to be with us. It's early morning in Canada, but George wakes up to do this for Nigerians and Africans in the diaspora. Georgie, you're welcome, sir.
Yeah. Thank you so very much, and viewers from around the world, good morning, and good morning, Olayinka Raji. My man.
Good morning, sir.
How are you?
I'm fine.
Good.
Thank
you. Big George, we are talking about a very interesting thing here. Raji really broke it down. INEC introduces online portal for political parties, and the number so far has hit 129 parties. So we're saying we didn't handle when we were few, when the parties were few. Now, how can we go with 129 political parties? Is that not madness? Raji said we're joking. Raji said this is child's play. It doesn't make sense. What's your take?
Well, yeah. I was just, catching up on that particular update yesterday. 129 applications received so far. I mean, it's madness. It's crazy. And then you say, so they had to, develop a streamlined registration. They call a PFRS system. And they say that this is going to make the application more transparent and, published online. And guideline coming soon for seamless process. and the goal is a faster, more efficient party registration. The point about it is this: Nigerians, I think there must be something on the other side for just registering a political party. Maybe there is something that they're getting that we don't understand. Why people are rushing into going to register for a political party and all those type of things. It's madness. This is what you see all over. This is what you call going Nigerian way. Nigeria, we are very faddish in the way that we do things. Whenever we jump into anything, we want to just to overdo it. It happens here, it happens all around the world. So I think, like what Online Karanji was saying, is that to make it more stringent and make it, give the conditions so much more, difficult, because now it's becoming like a child's play. What you see here, 129 political parties. Come on.
Come on.
But you see, the point about it is there are a certain amount of money that is supposed to be paid. So the government is making money. I don't care, the government cares. Bring on. If you want to register 500 political parties,
Go ahead, George.
I say, so what I'm saying is that, the INEC, and the main truth is, as much as far as we are concerned, regardless of how many political parties are really being registered, the bottom line is how many will have uh, the qualification when it comes, at the
When
end
it
of the day,
comes
just
to,
almost like, yeah,
yes.
because this is almost like what we're discussing with US building a bigger embassy in Nigeria, where because they know that thousands upon thousands will be applying, but only a handful will be,
Accepted. Okay,
will
George,
accepted.
we we
So they're
we
making
we,
money.
we also, yeah, making money out of everything, but the confusion and doing things the other way, like you said. I mean,
Hmm.
there are ways that have been put down that things should be done, governance should be, politics should be, but we come in and just truncate the whole thing. Raji, you were telling me of some of the IDs. George, viewers, if you look at the screen, there are all kind of strange logos there. You have a cockerel, you have umbrella, you have two eyes watching, and Raji said the two eyes are conscience. Then you have fan, you have star, you have orange. Orange. Imagine having an orange as a logo.
Orange political party.
Okay, you have umbrella, all kinds
Yeah.
of logos there.
ADC
Crazy.
ADC thumbs up.
No, ADC is a handshake.
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 ADC makes sense a little. Then the thumbs up is accord.
Accord.
The thumbs up is accord. Anyway, Raji, tell us, conclude on this. But do you think going 2027, this will work? All of this, do you think we will have a credible election? Because at the end of it, what we want is a credible election and a good process of into governance. Do you think all
I,
of these will?
I think
Mhm.
what INEC should be doing now is actually to lay the groundwork for a credible election, and it will start with the number of parties that are registered. If the INEC could be strong enough to say that, look, there are too many parties, and in fact, the last elections, it cost INEC so much money because INEC had printed voter sheet, election
Okay.
sheet, until the Supreme Court now said that some parties were not included in that sheet. So
Hmm.
the INEC had to go back and cancel all those sheets and print a whole set of uh,
Shit.
sheet for voting. Yes, that costs a lot of money. That costs a lot. So I think by now, INEC should make it clear that
Mhm.
the registration of new political parties will be on hold until we have, say, 9, 10 credible parties. So all those parties who are fragmented should please come together and form a good party so that we'll have a more sane election. Not that a voter will be given a sheet and will not even know which party to vote for because there are 100 and so parties.
So you agree with me now that collapsing some of those parties and merging into one like we had with ADC is not a bad idea. You know,
Is it?
a grand.
Well,
Mhm.
listen. You're dealing with Nigeria. Come on, people. The only thing that needs to be done here is bring it on. You want to register 500 parties? Come and pay your money. That's okay. We'll take care of you at the end of the day. But when it comes down to it, if you go to America today, yeah, what's his name? Elon Musk just registered a political party. But
Yeah.
you have hundreds of political parties in America. And none of them, most of them are not functioning. They're there. So if you want to pay your money, pay your money. That's fine with us. We will take your money, but at the end of the day, they're going to scale it down. They're going to scale it down because there are some other qualifications that are needed in order for you to run for election. Not every political party that is registered is going to be put on the ballot paper. No, it's only a handful of them who qualify for those higher level criteria that are
Offices.
given to them. Yes.
So,
So if
Sir
now,
George,
yes,
Sir
yes,
George,
sir.
do you know, I just mentioned that uh, INEC was preparing for an election. He had printed out all those voters thing for the election until the Supreme Court now said that one or two parties have been omitted from that sheet, and therefore they should be included. That caused INEC billions of naira to reprint all those things. So
So what I'm.
what could happen? What
Mhm.
could happen is that in the American system, it is electronic voting. You don't have to go and fingerprint on a sheet. You just do electronic voting,
What I'm
and
saying is
therefore
this.
they didn't have to print physical papers
What
for
I'm saying,
for voting.
INEC is an independent supposed to be an independent organization.
Hmm.
Therefore, they can ignore you when you're registering, but when it comes to printing, they have to up a little bit the qualification criteria so that every political party constitutionally cannot be on the ballot paper. If they don't meet those criteria, INEC can do it. They can. They can bring a qualification, make the criteria a little more stringent, so that all of them are
Sir
not going to
George,
be printed. They can. They
Sir,
can.
I don't think you
Okay.
took my point very clearly.
Okay.
INEC
Okay.
had already
Let's
registered those people
No, okay,
and
hold on.
let's
printed
move
their
on.
names
Let's move
until
on.
the
Let's move on,
Supreme
guys.
Court.
Yes. Let's
Supreme
move
Court
on,
now
guys.
judged that
Hmm.
some parties should be included. INEC has
Included.
finished
Okay.
its own.
All right.
Okay.
All right. All right, gentlemen. Let's go on to Nigeria forming stronger ties, like they claim. We saw right there in Brazil, our president was reaffirming Nigerians' commitment to a stronger tie with Vietnam. And while he was doing that, also right in France, we were also building some relationship, deepening our bilateral cooperation with France. So, gentlemen, my question is this: all of these commitments, bilateral enhancement, and all blah blah blah, where has it taken us to? We just don't create friendship. You want your friendship to be to have some results and bring in some things, and it should be mutual to both ends. So, George, tell us one with the Vietnamese and one with the French people. Commitments, deepening our bilateral relationship.
Well, this is part of the reason why is somebody like this G20 is one place where they meet, they sit down, they talk about some a common level of interest, something that will benefit both parties. So
Hmm.
Bola Ahmed Tinubu is actually doing a good job, if you ask me, in that area, and in establishing most of these relationships. He's very aggressive when it comes to that. But what we saw with the former administration, that our former president was not coherent enough, to establish all these relationships. So, but Bola Ahmed Tinubu is very forward in doing so. So what we saw here, they are, in, basically trying to reestablish some bilateral relationship regarding trade, energy, mining, and climate actions. So he discussed with the PM Farm Minchin on the sideline of their meeting. So most of the time, what they do is in these G20, G7 meetings, they have separate meetings, opportunities not to spend the country's money to go and visit that particular country or sending, some people to go and start negotiating. They can sit down over there, establish or institute a type of relationship. If it goes further, then others can get involved. Trade and investments focus. Both leaders agreed to boost economic ties and explore new collaborations. Long-standing diplomatic relationship. Nigeria and Vietnam have maintained friendly relationships in 1976. So what they are doing is basically adding upon and re-establishing and bringing new ties between the two countries. When you see today, Trump has troubled the water. All the waters are troubling international trade, diplomacy, and he's actually bastardized this tariff situation. When he wakes up in the morning from the wrong side of the bed, he will increase another one to 50%. And, when it comes to France, actually, France is in a very dire situation if you really want to know about it, because, most of these other countries that France used to deal with before are running away from them, like Niger Republic and the rest of
George,
them.
let me hold you there. Still on what you're saying. Listen to this. Our foreign direct investment has gone down. And when we talk of bilateral relationship, we're talking of what they bring in also to help us. I mean, what we gain from that. Now, in 2023, our foreign direct investment was 1.87 billion. But in the first quarter of 2025, it has gone to 250 million. 250 million. That's a big spiral down situation. So Raji, let Raji speak before George comes in. What's the essence of traveling all over the world, creating bilateral relationship, if our foreign direct investment is going down? I mean, and take note, this movement they make, they go with escape, they go with their entourage, they all of them get what you call ESTA codes. So much money spent on that movement alone, but nothing comes back as the gain from the movement.
You see, a country seeking foreign direct investment has to first of all make the country viable and appealing for anybody who is coming in from the outside to bring investment in. Our situation has been worsened by very, very unstable exchange rate, very, very unstable uh, life of the people. The income for most people in Nigeria has dwindled so bad that even our purchasing power of individuals have been worsened by economic policies from the government. So it won't be easy for anybody to come and invest in the. We talk about Nigeria being the most populous country in Africa, populous black nation in the world. What is the use of population if they don't have capacity to spend, if they are mainly poor people? So it's not a matter of numbers. So anybody who is coming to invest in this country, we first of all look at the economic indices around the country, the state of the people, and the market in Nigeria is mainly in the southwest, sparingly in the south in the Port Harcourt area. So you look at it and you see that look, there's no point coming to invest my money here unless I'm coming in to take in raw materials that are in plenty in Nigeria.
That's what they come to do the most anyway.
Yeah.
All right. So thank you very much, Raji. You said that well. So George, the decline also, this foreign direct investment decline comes from multinationals leaving our shores, and still we are creating all this bilateral thing, wasting our time, spending money to go and visit people. George, how far can we go with all of this? Where does this take us to?
This takes us to the place where we are supposed to be going in spite of all the things that are going on. You know, there is a proverb in Igbo land saying, because people die in the war, that doesn't mean we don't have to go to the war. Because G20 is a place where we belong, we have to go there anyway. So we are trying to make the very best out of what we can. France is in a very dire situation. A lot of countries that they used to, they used to, suck, dry up. In short, I don't even know what word I can use for that. Have left them. So now they're looking for new bilateral relationship, and Nigeria is the next Mugu that they're using in order to bring the money in. So what you're seeing here is what you're seeing here basically is France is looking for new relationship with some African countries, and they are well known in making sure that they siphon natural resources from these countries and give them peanuts for it. So we're the next Mugu for France. If we continue in the vein that we're going, we saw what Mrs. Odumego Ojukwu did. She's discussing with Ambassador Mark, I don't know how to pronounce the name, Von Buster, about some bilateral agreements. So what you see, Tinubu is doing a good job really when it comes to taking advantage of some of these, outside of the country type of, annual meetings. But the thing is, like Ola Nkaraji was saying, how can you be making all these moves without ensuring the safety and the ground being fertile enough for investors to come in and trust that their money will remain and that they will make profit? Nobody wants to go and throw their money away. The reason why you see a whole lot of countries exiting Nigeria is simply because their investments have gone belly up. They're not making any more money. The money they had in their bank accounts became nothing, watered down to zero. And there is no trust in that particular company continuing in Nigeria and making profit rather than making profit outside and coming to use it to sustain Nigeria. That's why they're leaving. So because the environment is not conducive enough. What I think that Tinubu should be concentrating on, if they want real substance, not just those shine face type of exposures, is to come to Nigeria, ensure that there is security in all parts of Nigeria, especially in those areas where they know that investors might want to come and build factories and stuff like that. But you don't see that happening because, they're going out there making themselves look good in the eyes of both Nigerians when we see it and the foreigners. But the real substance is not coming down to the common people. So all these things they're doing is a shine face type of business.
Yeah, you guys know that Colbert is in Jigawa State. Colbert is one of the components Tesla needs. Now, Tesla was supposed to mount a station, a base in Jigawa, but because of security, they left. They didn't agree to the deal. So we are really, you guys, I'm helping. I mean, I'm adding to what you guys said. The problem is in-house. Arrange your house, you attract the investors. So
you really don't have to do much because number one, the attraction for Nigeria is that the population is there. That's number one. And the population being there, any country or any company or any corporation that wants to make money, you have already qualified with your population. But secondly, they have to make sure that the money, when they are coming in, that their workers are safe, that their company is safe, and their money is safe to grow.
Thank you.
But if it's not that way, no company will want to come over there and waste their time and waste their money.
Good one, Raji, George. Good discussion going on. Let's take some glass of water. Let's refresh a little. We'll be back. Thank you.
Looking for the right answers to hard and sometimes confusing global events? Look no further. SSM's team brings unique perspectives from across the globe. Our in-depth independent reporting is to make you better understand the world as we evolve.
A year ago, I wrote a book titled The Final Solution. And I was trying to say to the rest of the world that there are challenges ahead. Now, a prophecy did come, and that prophecy is coming to pass. But I'm telling you, the final solution has been found many years ago in the Bible, because the Bible simply says righteousness exalts a nation and sin is a reproach to the people. So I want you to know that we can get solutions to problems in Ukraine, in Russia, in Nigeria, indeed all parts of the world. We need that solution, and the solution is straightforward. Please get a copy of my book. It's the Final Solution by Bishop Schengen Johnson, and you can find it in Kindle, in Amazon. Just type Bishop Schengen Johnson, The Final Solution. It's very, very small book you can read within 2 hours, but it contains the final solution. Do get a copy. Not getting it is doing disservice to humanity. Don't forget the final solution.
Hi there, I'm Mary Keurig, and I am a businesswoman in the United States, but I'm also the Global Content Vice President for the Sub-Saharan Open University in Nigeria. I could not be prouder to work with Dr. Osita Anamika and his team on helping to create not just entrepreneurs and skill-based talent that will get out into the workforce and make a living for themselves, but also young leaders. And to that end, with this integrity-rich university environment that's accredited now, and it's just an amazing opportunity for anyone there of any age to jump on board and learn, we want to let you know about a new offering that we have. We have a global governance and diplomacy course now provided by a whole team of people that crosses several countries to put together these resources and lots of great information for those of you who might be on the path toward public service and diplomatic service, NGO leadership, that sort of thing. We hope that you will walk through this open door and enjoy.
Yes, you're welcome back, George, Raji.
Yes.
Welcome, guys. Let's look back at something that happened. Remember, we had the issue of Nigeria being given reduced visa entry. Remember that story, George, Raji? Okay. The Foreign Affairs Minister Yusuf Tuga has finally given us the reason why that thing happened. It wasn't what we thought. He says it's because this is also from his interview in Channels News. He says is as a result of United States wanting to dump Venezuelan deportees in Nigeria, and Nigerian government said no. So we were hit with that tariff thing and also some other issues. So do you guys think this is true? Is the Minister of Foreign Affairs Yusuf Tuga, that's the man you see there with the white beard, is he telling us the truth? How can Venezuelan deportees be brought into Nigeria to live in Nigeria? I mean, what's the rationale between that? George, Raji, who wants to go?
Raji can go.
George,
on this
go.
one. No.
Okay.
Raji, go.
Anyway,
It's
so
a crazy situation, actually.
it's a crazy situation. Yes. That was what he said, and this came last night. So we're wondering why.
So it may not be so surprising because Trump has been behaving somehow ever since he came in. I don't know whether it is out of menopause or something, or is it whatever. because he has been behaving like a bungling, immature child. There have been the case of Britain trying to take back immigrants to and settle them in Rwanda. There was an agreement. There was some money paid. So that one is, but I don't think have ever been any agreement between the U.S. and Nigeria to accept Venezuelan deportees. And where were they going to take them? Are they going to take them to Benue, or where do they intend to take them in the first instance? And these are Venezuelans who don't know jack about Nigeria. So the whole idea is actually it's unthinkable, and it's only Trump who may be able to think that way. And if because of that refusal, the whole country is now being punished by some petty declaration, so be it. I think it's time for Nigerians to sit down in their countries and then start developing ourselves.
I don't think what Yusuf was saying. I don't believe that, honestly. Suggestion might have been made. But we're always trying to attach something to something. The bottom line to it is this: Nigeria, suggestion might have been made. If I pay you certain amount of money, would you like to house somebody like certain number of people? We already have too much population as we speak. We don't need additional. Okay, we can't even manage what we have at home. Talk less of going out there to try to find some other type of strangers to bring in. And besides, anyway, what kind of infrastructure do we have to house all those people? Look at our prisons, how dilapidated it is. You're talking about that. So he needs to go and find out the main reason why what happened. This is not it. It might have been suggested, so Nigeria to say no to Trump doesn't, that's not the reason why they're doing this. They are retaliating. Go and check and see what we have. The kind of visa we give to Americans is one single entry, 3 months. They just retaliated. Simple as that. It's not because Nigeria refused for this. Why would they? Trump who is he, God, to punish Nigeria simply because we say we don't have room for such whatever. Nigeria is not really a good place for prisoners, or we don't have that such infrastructure to house foreign criminals like that. So I think he's making this up. He just picked up one of those. He's making it up. He picked up one of those type of things that were possibly suggested or discussed and attached it to be the reason. That's not. I don't think so. Yeah, I know that Trump. They're foolish, but they're not that foolish.
Yeah, when I had he was speaking loud and clear on the channel TV.
No, forget about all that. How many of the things how many excuses do they give that you believe in? They are they have mastered giving excuses in everything. And lies. Yeah, so they want to just, look good. That's all it is.
They want
as
far
as I'm concerned.
Yes, I'm with you on that one, George. Okay, let's see something, and we'll talk about it. See this clip.
We want to work with the United States in peace and security within the region because we are committed to that. And we just want to thank you so much for this opportunity.
Well, thank you. And such good English, such beautiful. Where did you learn to speak so beautifully? Where were you educated? Where?
Yes, sir.
In Liberia.
Yes, sir.
Well, that's very interesting. That's beautiful English.
Sure.
I have people at this table can't speak nearly as well.
Gentlemen, is that not awkward and crazy?
No, it is not awkward. It's not awkward.
But is it not also lack of understanding of real?
No.
Okay, tell us.
Trump is a man that speaks when he wants to. He gotta have some expression to bring out there. He doesn't think before he speaks. Think about it for a moment. He stands on his feet, they ask him questions, and he blabbers whatever that comes out of his mouth. He's not a diplomatic individual. He's not a man that will chew his word before he speaks it. He's just something that comes to his mind and he speaks it, and we take it and start dissecting it, pontificating it, and accusing it. That is the man. You know the man. He mocked people that were, handicapped people. He doesn't care. The man speaks very well, yeah, and he didn't know what to say, and he just blabbered. And then we take it and want to kill ourselves over that. Oh, he's punishing us. Or he thinks we're not, polished enough. He doesn't remember our relationship,
Yes.
with
George,
Liberia, that
for
it
the
was a
sake of-
U.S. state.
for the sake
I don't
of-
think he meant anything, personally.
Yeah, for the sake of many people like Trump, there are many Americans, many Europeans, foreigners, white people like Trump. Yes, a lot of them. Now they need to know some things. Africa has different people, different languages, and different ways of talking. Now, Liberia, precisely, what Trump doesn't know is that they are slaves, returnees from his country, his America. You know,
See, that's exactly where I'm.
Raju wants
Hold
to
on,
say something.
Raju, 1 second, please. You
Okay.
see,
Yes.
what you don't understand is that when somebody like Trump gets into office, okay, somebody like that, it is difficult to find people that are so well knowledgeable and to teach him to understand. You see, they get briefed over all these things. They get briefed, but what you saw happen there was just an outburst of emotion, expression, not thinking. That's all it is. So understanding, Africa and Nigeria and all those things is not what he's there to think. You have to understand the kind of person you're dealing with.
Yeah,
Not a diplomatic individual.
I want to
Raju,
agree with Sir George mainly. I don't see it as being talking down to the black man or anything. No, I don't see anything racial in it. In fact, we should show more self-confidence than taking offense at such ignorance.
Of course. Oh, thank you. Because
Okay,
we'll make a mountain out of a molehill in this situation.
But we could use this opportunity to enlighten Americans and people like Trump.
To enlighten who?
Now they
You
should
can
know
only
that
enlighten
thousands of Black
enlightenable people. You can't enlighten somebody who doesn't want to be enlightened to begin with. You
No,
can't.
because no. But there's something we can do.
Samak, you are talking from a point of inferiority complex.
Thank you.
If you are sure of
what it
yourself,
sounds like. That's what it
if you are
sounds
sure
like.
of yourself, it does not matter how ignorant the other person is. It is not up to you. You do not have to validate yourself through his ignorance. No.
Thank you. Listen to this. I was in a transportation class when I was in school in the United States of America. And I did a beautiful presentation with a group of people. And every one of them ran to me. And we did it. I was the main person who did it because of the type of education we have in Nigeria. And then when I did my presentation, everybody else had A's. They copied from me, but I got a C minus. And I asked the professor, and I said, Dr. Everett, what is this? He said to me, oh, that's your mark. I said, how can you give A to everybody? But me, the main person, the center of this, you only giving C minus. Oh, I'm so sorry. It was very difficult to understand your accent. And I told him, I said, the most beautiful thing about me is my accent because I'm from a foreign country. And under British leadership before. So you cannot discriminate against me because of my accent. He turned around and he gave me A+ after I went to his office. But let me tell you something, because he was an exposed individual. He came from New Mexico. He was a professor there. He was exposed to foreigners. If you were some of the local professors, they would have taken offense over what I did. Do you understand? So you have to stand your ground and be proud of who you are. I don't have to speak like you in order to be accepted. No. And that's what America does, because it's a melting pot. They want you to eat like them, talk like them, smile like them. If you don't do it, they make you stand out. But
Yeah.
it is time
So,
for us to be proud of who we are. Look at the dignity of that man. Trump was shaken because of the commanding voice that came out of that man. And that's what shook
yeah.
him. That a man could speak with such authoritative command. And then he was listening so attentively. So he was impressed. He didn't know how to express his, his admiration. He just voiced it as something.
So another thing I want to add to what Sir George just said. You know, when a Frenchman is speaking English or a Spanish is speaking English, don't we forgive him all his but
Mistakes
when
and all that.
an African is speaking English with his own intonation, with his own we look down on it that he doesn't know how to speak English.
You see? That's
We should have
exactly
more
right.
confidence in ourselves.
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay,
Thank you.
I'm with you guys as you've said this so well. Yes, but for the record, know that let our viewers, those that don't know, Liberia is an English-speaking country. English is the official language, even though they have their local languages too. Now, the interesting thing about Liberia is they are slaves that were brought back from America, and in fact, the capital, Monrovia, is named after one American president. Also indigenous, we've had indigenous Liberians, but the majority of Liberians are slave returnees. So yes, they can sound like Trump. Trump was surprised that the man's accent was sounding more like he was talking to an American. So he thought he probably schooled in America. So that's it. Trump, grow and open your horizon, get to know more things. People are not what you think they are. These foreigners think Africa we're still climbing trees and jumping over mountains.
And what makes them think that what is because of the way we negatively respond to things like this.
Yes,
Okay.
I am telling you.
So Sir George, a professor in Austin who studied in Ife, sent something on Facebook when he was asked by another professor whether he came from a Bush college. So he took his time to explain to him that, you see, if you enter the University of Ife, the space we have is more than what Harvard, Stanford, Yale, and all 4 more other American universities have at their campus. So if that's a Bush college, so tell me something.
I'm glad to belong there. No, you see, one thing about it is when you are self-confident, when you stand your ground in any subject, in any matter, you see, what it is this. Most Americans, especially the uneducated ones, they have this superiority attitude against every other foreigner, and it's based on ignorance. Most of them have never traveled out of their country. They go from state to state. As a matter of fact, America designed it that way, that you can, if you start work at the age of maybe 25, and you work for 25 years, by the time you finish, you retire, you would not have visited all the states in America. Think about it. It's 51 states or 50 states per se, but just think every year you take a vacation to Wisconsin, another year you go to New York, another year you go to California. You will not have visited all these countries until you retire, and they love it that way. That's why they bastardize other nations. It's all because of internet and because of social media that most Americans are even halfway educated about the international world. They don't know nothing about the world. To them, their world is the world. To Americans, their world is America.
Hardly ever would they leave their county. And most Americans don't even have a need.
True.
They don't have a need for a passport.
No, you see, let me tell you, this is the reason why what we don't understand. When you live among them and have lived with them for many years, you understand those things. Because most of them are very, very ignorant. Absolutely. I'm talking about ignorance to a detrimental level to their own image.
Right.
Yes,
right,
it's
gentlemen.
true.
Let's begin to crop it up. Before we go, because today's Friday, international update. Yesterday, here where I am, Rome had a conference with most of the European Union members, and a pledge of 10 billion euros was given to support Ukraine in reconstruction, rebuilding the country, and also the EU on its own, under the Commission, Ursula, that woman, announced another 2.3 billion, at making up to almost 13 billion for reconstruction in Ukraine. Gentlemen, when we hear things like this, you want to wonder why the world thinks the way it thinks. How do you send? Yes, why do you spend so much money? Start something you can't finish. Now you're spending so much money that could be used for other things. You could be used to rehabilitate or bring up other sectors. George and Raji, let me hear from you. What do you think about this?
Sir George has mentioned how the situation in France is so dire, since there are no more plundering from the West African their old colonies. You have this money, rather than spend their money in developing their countries, just like America is doing, spending money in endless wars, while a lot of their population are homeless. The amount of money that the US has spent in wars is enough to provide free education for every child in the US, give home to every person in the US, instead of spending it on wars. But they have to spend it on war because their civilization was based on violence and domination. And therefore, at every time, there have to be a war for them to be fighting so that they will be in power and so that they will be in some control. Because rather than encouraging Ukrainians to fight until the last man, and then having their country devastated, and having a lot of their people out of Ukraine as refugees across Europe, now you are spending money to rebuild what you didn't have to destroy in the first instance.
Was it Vatican City that was promising this money, or was it Italy, Giorgia Meloni, that was promising this money? Which one?
No. It's Europe, EU, the EU Commission.
That
but
was
the
held
meeting,
in Europe.
yeah, it was held here in Rome. So Meloni was the host, and she did more of the presentation. She gave the money. She said that. So probably they have gone behind to source for this fund. Italy have gone behind to source for the fund from all of the EU members. So anyway,
all the EU countries are in debt.
All the EU countries are in debt. Serious debt. Before we go on, let's talk again about Plateau. Plateau in the north of Middle Belt, Nigeria, is bleeding again, gentlemen. Again, 70 vigilante men were killed while going out to their workplace, to the farm and to various places. 70 of them. Serious issue. And we are going out to have bilateral agreements with countries. Meanwhile, headsmen, people are being killed. Georgie, what's your take on this? Georgie.
Oh.
I thought you were crying. I thought you got emotional.
No, listen to this. I was just here. I just left for a minute. I was a manager in one of the black communities. The company that I was working for, there was a branch there, so they sent me to that particular place. When I first got there, there was a killing that took place. A black guy shot another one, and I was shaking to my boots, but I didn't hear it on the news. And a few weeks, the following week, another death occurred. I didn't hear it in the news. So I was asking questions. I'm like, all these people that are being killed. And I asked a police officer, Osim, it's become so rampant that it's no longer newsworthy when we kill each other. Listen to this. We're playing games in Nigeria, whether we like it or not. As a little boy, I challenged my mom one time, and my mom disciplined me so much and tell me that my son is bigger than me. Even when you are grown, it's just nothing but a comedy. You cannot outgrow your own person. What we're seeing in that particular area is nothing but is a deliberate, targeted genocide and to replace the people in the middle belt. And we are here pontificating, playing around, joking about it as if they are just killing mosquitoes rather than animals. Because animals are more important to these people than all these humans that are being killed. 70 just massacred. Tell me, in the last 90 days, can you tell me how many of these herdsmen that have gone into this area and killed so many people? And we're just talking about it as if it's flies that they are killing. It is so sad. I don't even know whether we should be wasting our time anymore, because it doesn't seem as if the government wants to do anything about it. There must have been a hidden, deliberate, conniving from the northern elites to the government not to do much about this. Why are they in River State when they declared a state of emergency? While in this place where people are dying daily, and you are outside of the country talking about bringing businesses in? What the heck are you talking about? That's a juvenile hogwash, if you ask me. Clean up your house.
George, we should make this go viral. What you've just said. I don't know how you can cut it out, put it out your handles. You just made some heavy punchline there. Raji,
Yes.
this is it. Yes, Raji, 70 again. And
it's so saddening. It's so saddening. In the last 3 months at least, more than close to 1,000 people have died. Human beings. Haba. And all that you are doing is pontification and nonsense across the country. Down south here, all this news. Sorry, Sir George. All this news has dumbed us. In fact, I look at my fellow men and I wonder, look, what has happened to us? What has happened to our heart? That fellow Nigerians are being killed across the Benue Plateau area, and we are not doing anything. You look at all the riffraffs who are doing all these things. We are still talking about Ruga. We are still talking about cow reservation for them. People I've said before, and I want to say it again. Regardless of whatever is happening, there should be a concerted effort from the local government to the state government to the federal government to close down all IDP camps across the Benue Plateau area and return all these people back to their look. It should be a concerted effort, and any alien or non-indigenous found in that area should be driven out of that area.
Okay.
It is sad. It is very, very sad. Let me tell you something, okay? We have become a laughing stock to a whole lot of neighboring countries like Cameroon, like Ivory Coast, Burkina Faso. We are just a laughing stock. We are laughing. We need to wipe the shame off of our face. Let me tell you something. If the government decides tomorrow that they want to eliminate all of this, it will take them nothing less than 1 week to wipe them all out. All you need is drones. All you need is, we got what we need. But something is happening behind the scenes. Something insidious, seriously insidious, is happening behind the scenes. That is the reason why we are all here shouting, talking, and nobody is listening. And then you go, and then it will take you so long to go and visit these places. And then you go visit, and then you talk, and then you go, nothing happens. No brake light. No. It is so despicable and unacceptable, both internationally and locally, that we are supposed to be allowing, and we have a military. What kind of military? They are nothing but jokers. If you ask me, unless the government itself is in cahoots with these people in what they're planning on doing. They got to be. If they are not, then something is wrong somewhere. We need a new leader who can take these people, go to the root causes of this thing, wipe all these people away, and make sure they don't come. And let me tell you something. When you do that the first, second, and the third time, you will see them, they will run to another country. The only reason why they are still there is because of the because they are being tolerated. And then all of a sudden, they become a force to be reckoned with. That's all.
Thank you, guys.
We're joking.
We're joking.
That's
all right, viewers. SSM Friday International Update. We just added this Nigerian news update, and it's really appalling. Plateau State bleeds as bandit kills 70 vigilante men. These are men. These are family men. These are husband men. These are people, human beings like me and you, but they are being slaughtered like animals. All right, Judge Raji, let's keep a hold there. We'll be back on Monday. I want to thank you guys for showing up all through. It's been awesome having all the updates and you putting out your various great insights. So any word before we go, Raji, any words for the viewers?
For our viewers in Nigeria, the weather is quite cool, and you are advised to find a partner so that things will go very well.
George, that's the best. That's the best. George, can you hear this, George?
Listen,
George.
All I encourage you, look at my hand and my ears. Do not forget the population. We're already talking about being the third most populated country in the whole world. George, and you're talking about gold?
George, leave population. They said there's gold. Get a partner or two. Get a partner.
Or two. And keep warm. Keep warm. Have a very, very happy weekend.
Raji, the best. Raji,
thank you.
All of your talk.
No, you know what, Massive Mark. I was actually going to come against you for bringing this particular news to be the last one, because we're supposed to have good news. Raji, you have turned everything right side up. Thank you so much. Yes. Thank you. You did it for us.
The weather in Nigeria is cold, chilling, and you are all advised to get a partner.
Keep warm.
All right,
we'll
come again.
All right. Okay, viewers, have a wonderful weekend. God bless the Federal Republic of Nigeria, and God bless our president, Asiwaju, as we continue to grow.
Thank you, George. Thank you, Reg. Bye-bye.